chair here? Oh, sorry. Susie. Just the lowest for any goon unless you got anything better.
That's fine. So then it's just that and welcome. No game.
Correct.
Okay, got it.
Say it. Preach it. Bust through it. Ser is like to spread the good word, spread good news, like Ser at CL. Yeah, bust through me and Leo Yeshua to spread the news and.
Good to see you. I never
Neil.
busy. We're going to see a lot of you this weekend.
I know. Mazel tov.
Thank you.
Super exciting. So what did I do?
We were in tennis yesterday. She won. They're in the state finals.
Oh my gosh, the whole team.
Big, yeah.
That's great.
So next week is either one or two matches. And then the finals we're going to be away from her.
Oh no.
Hopefully they'll be in.
So nice to see you. It's so glad to be here.
Let's do this. Thank you.
We're just gonna. Okay, let's see. It's nice to see you,
I'm ready. Rabbi, I'm ready. חברים שלך הגיעו. We'd love for you to join us in song. Ya la 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 la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la, dai 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 dai, ya la 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 la, ya la la la, ya la 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 dai dai dai. Ya la 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 la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
It is, it's a little cloudy outside, but perhaps last night you saw it as the full moon of the month of Sivan, which means a little extra light out there. And as we do every week, we gather for Shabbat to celebrate holy moments in time, to say our prayers, to come together, to rejoice together. So welcome to those joining us on live stream. Again, wishing everyone a peaceful Shabbat. Welcome back to our Bima, Rabbi Batya Illinois, and Rabbi Micah decided to add some music tonight too. So as always, please add your voices with ours. I'm going to invite Rabbi Batya to introduce Shalom Aleichem, which you can find on page 24.
With the liturgical poem Shalom Aleichem, we welcome Shabbat by greeting the messengers or malachim of Shabbat. We sing peace to you, ministering messengers of the sovereigns of sovereigns, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon. We then ask them to come in peace, Boachem l'shalom, to bless us each individually, Barchuni l'shalom, bless us individually with peace, and then to depart in peace, Tzedchem l'shalom. I'd like to offer the idea that these messengers are those that relay the message that Shabbat is here. They could be in the form of external signs, those of being together in temple, perhaps wearing special clothing for Shabbat, hearing special songs that we sing tonight, or they could be internal signs of settling, of a deep breath, of an exhale, or feeling some sort of relief. I invite you to consider in your hearts and minds for a moment, what are the signs and messages to you that tell you that Shabbat has come? So with this poem, Shalom Aleichem, we welcome these signs and we consider them as divine messengers. We ask them to come to bless us. And then when we know that Shabbat is here, the Shabbat, our holy weekly holiday of rest, of renewal, of pleasure and re-ensoulment, and we don't need those messages because we've gotten the message. Shabbat is here. We then bless these messengers with peace as they fade away and we're more fully arrived into Shabbat. One of the last pieces that Debbie Friedman of blessed memory composed before she passed away was a melody for Shalom Aleichem that we will sing tonight momentarily. And she added a verse of Shuvchem l'shalom, return in peace, holy messengers. With this sweet addition comes an invitation that if we forget it's Shabbat, or if we get lost from stress of the week and it starts to creep back in, we can return to the messages that we can see around us or within us that Shabbat is here. Page 24. Let's join together. Shalom Aleichem, Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Melech Achei HaMelachim, HaKadosh, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem l'shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Achei HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Barchuni l'shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon,
Baruch Hu.
Shuvchem l'shalom.
Shuvchem l'shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Hayom, Mimelech Malachei HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem, Shalom Aleichem, Malachei HaSharei, Malachei Hayom, Mimelech HaMelachim, HaKadosh, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. It is a big graduation weekend, Westwood High School, many college students. It is an honor to invite recent college graduate Sophie Weller and anyone else from your family, parents, grandparents who would like to join to bring in the light of Shabbat this evening. And thank you to the Weller family for sponsoring our oneg this evening as well. We are on pages 2 and 3.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light.
We didn't rehearse this.
Seeing it done. Very good. Come on.
Helps when you touch the wick.
Shabbat Shalom. Mazel Tov, Sophie. We'll continue with Psalm 96 on page 13. Shiru Ladonai Shir Chadash, sing unto God a new song. A reminder to always infuse our words, our prayers with new spirit. Again, page 13.
Shir Ladonai, Shir Chadash, Shir Ladonai, Kol Haaretz, Shir Ladonai, Baruchu Shemo, Basru b'yom le'yom Yeshuato. Shir Adonai, Shir Chadash, Shir Adonai, Kol Haaretz, Shir Adonai, Baruchu Shemo, Basru b'yom le'yom Yeshuato. Zabru lagoyim kevodo, Lechol ha'amim yira'otav, Ki gadol Adonai, Omer olam le'od, Karahu al kol Elohim. Shir Ladonai, Shir Chadash, Shir Ladonai,
Adonai Baruch Shemo Tasumim Le'Yom Yeshuato. We're going to continue with melodies from Israel. Page 20 will join in Lachadodi as we welcome in the bride of Shabbat. Page 20 will join in verses 1, 2, 5, and 9. On the last verse, if you are able, I invite you to face our doors to bring in Shabbat.
Lachadodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lachadodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Shamor tezachor b'diborecha ishbianu el meyuchad. Adonai echad u'shemo echad l'shem tiferet v'leitila. Lechadodi
לקראת כלה בני שבת נקבלה. לכבודי לקראת כלה בני שבת נקבלה. לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה כי מכל הברכה מראש מקרן סלוחה סוף מעשה ומחשבה תחילה. לחדודי לקראת כלה בני שבת נקבלה. לחדודי לקראת כלה בני שבת נקבלה. התעוררי כי בעומק כולי אורי. אורי שיר דברי כבוד עלי עלייך נגלה. לחדודי לקראת כלה בני שבת נקבלה. לחדודי לקראת כלה בני שבת נקבלה. בואי לשלום עצרת בעלה גם לשמחה ולצהלה. תוך אמוני עם סגולה. בואי חלה בואי חלה ולדודי לקראת בני שבת נקבלה. לחדודי לקראת בני שבת נקבלה. We'll remain standing and turn to page 26 for Chatzi Kaddish.
התקדה והתקדה שמרבה בעלמא דיברה חירותי והמליכה חוטי. וחיי לכון וחיי דכל בית ישראל. בגלה ובזמן קריב יראו העין. יהי שמירה במבורך לעולם לעולם יומיה. יתברך יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתהלל ויתהלל. שתיקון שבריחו בו ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, תמירם בעלמה, אמרו אמן.
Please join me in the English of Ma'ariv Aravim, our prayer for creation, on the top of page 31. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows.
Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'ma'ariv Aravim.
We continue on page 32 together. Everlasting love, you offered your people Israel by teaching us Torah and mitzvot, laws and precepts. Therefore, Adonai, our God, when we lie down and when we rise up, we will meditate on your laws and your commandments. We will rejoice in your Torah forever. Day and night we will reflect on them, for they are our life, and doing them lengthens our days. Never remove your love from us. Praise to you, Adonai, who loves your people Israel.
Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev amo Yisrael. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Yevon Malchuto Le'olam.
Please be seated. We'll continue with words from Torah, page 36.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבבך, ושינתם לבניך, ודיברת בם, ושיתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם emet. Let's read together on the top of page 39 words that will lead us into our Song of the Sea. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together. Page 40. מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נהדר בקודש. נורא תהילות אוסף הלב, נורא תהילות אוסף הלב. מלכות רעתך ראו בניך בוקר לפני משה ומרים צאלי אנו ואמרו אדוני ימלוך אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד לנאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב וגאלו מיחסק ממנו ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל.
Continue on page 42 with our prayer for safety under God's sheltering presence, under God's sukkah of peace. We join in Hashkivenu, and Beth David, you are especially singing tonight, so thank you.
Adonai, Elohim.
Eloheinu Shalom
Hashmirenu Adonai, Eloheinu Shalom, Lehavitenu Shomrei, Lehavitenu Shomreinu Lechaim.
Blessed are you, Adonai, guardian of peace, whose shelter of peace is spread over us, over all your people Israel, and over Jerusalem. Continue on page 44 with Vishamru as we celebrate the gift of Shabbat.
Veshameru b'nei Yisrael et haShabbat la'asot et haShabbat לדורותם ברית עולם. ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם. אישה את ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ וביום השביעי שבת וינפש.
Page 46, we'll enter now into our Amidah, our standing prayer, if you are able. We'll begin together in the Hebrew and pause to add the prayers from our hearts.
Adonai sifatai tiftach ufi yagid teilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el HaGadol, HaGibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomer Chasadim Tovim, Lekonei HaKol, V'zocher Chasdei Avot Bimot, U'mevii Geula Livnei Bneihem, L'ma'an Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshiach U'Magen. Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, ve'ezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechayeh hakol atah Rav le'hoshia, Mori itachtav, Mechakel chayim bechesed, Mechayeh hakol berachamim rabim, Somech noflim verofech olim, Umatir asurim, Umekayem emunato, Lishenei afar, Mi chamocha ba'al geburot, Umitom melech, Melech memit umechayim. ישוע, ונאמן אתה לחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש.
Blessed are you, Adonai, the holy God. I invite you to continue silently and feel free to be seated when you are ready.
On page 56 for Ritzay. Adonai Eloheinu, ve'amecha Yisrael, hu tefilatam ve'ahava tikabel, hu tefilatam Amit avodat
Continue now with our prayer for health and healing on page 253. We take this moment to pray for loved ones who are ill and to pray for those who care for them. Colin Monroe, Enrico Mascaro, Benjamin Horowitz, Bradley Dichter, Matteo Goldman, Toby Weiner, Esya Rushavskaya, Eileen Arnone, Jean Sands, Tom Fiorino, Carolyn Weil, Stephen Driscoll, Jerry Spingarn, Beth Gottlieb, Joseph Sands, Samantha Weiner, Ethel Sharanow, Rhea Rebecca, Ida Kublin, Peter Lawrence, Sarabat David Viosefia, Mark Albion, Herb Kupferschmidt, Linda Asher, Enid Watsky, Alan Aflito, Rosalind Slifka, Yonatan, son of Anna. If there are other names that you are praying for, you may share them aloud with us or name them in your hearts. Shabbat Shalom. There is a message that has come across most rabbis' desks and social media feeds. It is called the perfect rabbi. Note, I've changed the pronoun. The URJ recently sent out a survey on what makes the perfect rabbi. Some of you may have responded. Here is what the results show. They indicate the perfect rabbi preaches exactly 12 minutes. She condemns sins but never upsets anyone. She works from 8 o'clock a.m. until midnight and is also a janitor. She wears good clothes, buys good books, drives a good car, and gives about $50 weekly to the poor. She is 28 years old and has preached for 30 years. She has a burning desire to work with teenagers and spends most of her time with senior citizens. The perfect rabbi smiles all the time with a straight face because she has a sense of humor that keeps her seriously dedicated to her work. She makes 15 calls daily on congregational families, shut-ins, and the hospitalized, and is always in her office when needed. If your rabbi does not measure up, simply send this letter to 6 other synagogues that are tired of their rabbi too. Then bundle up your rabbi and send her to the synagogue on the top of the list. In 1 week, you will receive 1,643 rabbis, and one of them will be perfect. Have faith in this procedure. One congregation broke the chain and got its old rabbi back. We laugh because there is some truth in this. I have certainly learned over 20 years of being a congregational rabbi that humor is important. Expectations of rabbis to be all and do all run high among congregants and often among rabbis ourselves. I don't fully recall what I expected when I made the decision to apply to rabbinical school or when I was ordained 20 years ago in May of 2003 at the Hebrew Union College Jewish Institute of Religion in Los Angeles. I believed in the power of Jewish community, in learning and teaching, and was generally good at listening and helping others. I valued Jewish history and continuity and thought that I could add to our people's story and strengthen the bonds of Jewish community. I still believe all these things. I did not know, and I wonder if Rabbi Zub did, about the unrealistic demands of time on the congregational rabbi, that I would be a janitor at times, although Roberto does an excellent job, or how much time I would spend responding to emails. There is a lot that I've learned since I was ordained at the age of 29. I especially thank my family for their support and being without me for a good amount of time. Looking back, I can now reflect on different chapters in my rabbinate, serving as an assistant, then an associate rabbi, a rabbi educator, a senior rabbi, a co-rabbi, and a solo rabbi. There are chapters of my rabbinate that were before kids and being a full-time rabbi and full-time parent. And there are other chapters of serving congregations across our country, from the California Bay Area to Tulsa, Oklahoma, and now Westwood, Massachusetts. Through all these changes, a few common themes have emerged, and I thank you for letting me share these ruminations this evening. I have narrowed it down to 4 themes. One, that I and my family have always been warmly embraced by the Jewish communities that we are serving. This can be challenging at times. It has meant being fellow parents alongside congregants as well as their rabbis. My stance as rabbi has always been to be part of the community that I am serving, not above it or separate from it. If I am not personally living my Judaism, then I don't know how I can lead others to do so. The synagogues I serve are home for me, just as I want them to be home for you. This is certainly the case at Beth David. There is also a constant of gender. More often than not, I find that I am still a female rabbi, not just a rabbi, and I'm used to that by now. I did not know 20 years ago how hard it would be to enter a field and obtain a title that was only held by men for thousands of years. It is remarkable that we just celebrated the 50th anniversary of the ordination of women rabbis. And yet, that is such a small window of time in the broad history and patriarchy of the Jewish people. I had no female role models and only one female mentor. I have been the first female rabbi in most communities I've served, including here at Beth David. For years, I endured the comments that are commonplace for female rabbis. You don't look like a rabbi. You don't sound like a rabbi. Or if my rabbi looked like you, I would attend synagogue more often. I'll spare you the comments from the pre, during, and post-pregnancy years. There is a new video that just came out by the CCAR, the Reform Rabbinic Conference, called The Clergy Monologues. This video details the experience of female rabbis. While we as a community have certainly made progress, the glass ceiling or the glass bima has not yet been broken. And this is especially true for LGBTQ plus rabbis. Another common thread or theme for me has been a bit of a Moses syndrome. It is daunting and sometimes overwhelming to feel that I have something relevant and meaningful to say each week. Who am I to speak and to lead this people? Asked Moses. While this sense of humility is a Jewish value, and one that I think makes me a good rabbi, I do struggle with this aspect. Rabbis often talk about a rabbinic voice. And I am still 20 years in figuring out what that means. Maybe I'll report back in another 20 years. I have most recently used my voice more in the community as a leader of the Westwood Interfaith Clergy Group, and sadly, as we have seen an increase in anti-Semitic acts with local town officials and school committees. Here at Beth David, I have used my voice to guide building a playground and a preschool, to grow our community, and to welcome people in of all ages, stages, and backgrounds. I have used my voice to share a bold and vibrant vision of Jewish life, continually adapting and evolving, affirming of discussion, debate, thought, and play. Rabbi Abraham Joshua Heschel's observation about the prophetic mission speaks to me that a rabbi or a leader should comfort the afflicted and afflict the comfortable. I have figured out over the years that I feel most authentic in my rabbinic voice when I am empowering others to find their Jewish voices and identity. I have a sense that our Rabbi Emeritus is similar in that way. I will say more about that in a moment. You have probably noticed a trend in synagogue life to professionalize management and administration. I'm thrilled to be part of Beth David's expanding, talented staff, and that I get to partner with other Jewish professionals every day. I hope with my now 20 years of synagogue experience that I'm able to offer this congregation strong and visionary leadership. This being said, I don't believe in professionalizing individual Jewish life. I think sometimes people come to Temple expecting that the clergy will wow them with a sermon, move them to tears with a beautiful melody, or do Jewish for them. Of course, I'm speaking to the choir tonight. While that may occasionally happen, I want to empower you to find your own voice within Jewish tradition, add your interpretation and your questions, add your voice in prayer and song, do Jewish when you are at home and when you are on the way, in the synagogue, and throughout your lives. I try to take this stance when I am working with kids and teens and adults, helping them to find their voices. Our lives are busier and busier. I believe that synagogue membership is most meaningful when we use it, invest in it, experience it, and give it back. I try to use my voice to help you connect in small groups, through study, through doing mitzvot, at dinners, retreats, travel trips, and some of us traveled for a long time together, through uplifting prayer and music. I want you to look at the 9 adults who will become B'nai Mitzvah next Shabbat, who have committed to finding their Jewish voices, learning Hebrew, reading and teaching Torah, fully counted in Jewish community. I take pride in my rabbinic voice for empowering them to do this. I recognize that my rabbinic voice is strongest when I'm also caring for myself. This is sometimes hard for rabbis who take very seriously the care that we give. And it has taken me some time to learn this lesson. I am glad to share that I have started working with a rabbinic coach this year, and I have been taking some guitar lessons. Cantor Louise Treitman actually heard me this morning at Shalom Corner Preschool Shabbat. She gave me the thumbs up, but let's just say I haven't graduated yet beyond preschool. I've been trying to come in on days where I'm working late here to come in later, and I recognize that I need to replenish my own well in order to shape meaningful messages for you each week. There is no such thing as a perfect rabbi. Lastly, the 4th theme is the consistent theme of life cycle, of the profound and deep responsibility that rabbis have for being there for the most joyful and saddest moments of life. It is hard to put into words how humbling and powerful this role is. Most of you here don't know that early on in my career, I was faced with some very, very hard funerals. I've been fortunate to not have that experience here at Beth David. The first funeral I ever officiated at the age of 29 was later determined to be a murder of a man by his wife. The senior rabbi was conveniently out of town. In my most challenging moments early on as a rabbi, there was a sudden death of a child, of a young adult, and a young mother of twins who died from cancer on our first day in Tulsa. On the other side of the lifespan, there are children that I named in California whose parents still send me pictures of their kids each year. I share this with all of you because I've stayed in touch with families across space and time. And this speaks to the sacred bonds that rabbis are privileged to form with people. And I thank you, Temple Beth David, for letting me into your lives in these moments and trusting your rabbi to guide you through. You know that your rabbi is prone to emotion, and that is because I am fully present. Officiating at Life Cycle has become even more meaningful as I've experienced my own. I've been telling recent B'nai Mitzvah parents that I really did know what I was doing prior to my own kids becoming B'nai Mitzvah, but really now I have a much deeper glimpse into the mindset of 13-year-olds. From baby namings to B'nai Mitzvah to weddings, in addition to singing Mazel Tov, I have the privilege of offering the priestly blessing, the ancient words of our people that are said on Shabbat, on holidays, and at the most significant, joyful moments in our lives. One of the oldest prayers, this blessing comes from this week's Torah portion, Naso. I would like to leave you with some words of Torah because, after all, a rabbi is most importantly a teacher. And after I offer this word of Torah, I will ask Rabbi Batya and Rabbi Micah to offer these words of the priestly blessing, and you are welcome to join. This threefold blessing is a rising crescendo of 3 words, then 5 words, then 7 words. The blessing is phrased in the personal or the singular, although it is most often uttered in communal settings. Jacob Milgram, in his commentary on the Book of Numbers, highlights the word panav in this blessing, God's face. It appears in the second and third part of the blessing. In contrast to other biblical passages where God's face is hidden, here in this blessing, God's presence is illuminated, ending with the final word shalom, which the Talmudic rabbis deemed the greatest value or greatest virtue in our lives. Any rabbi translates the Hebrew in their own way. I want to leave you with what these words of blessing mean to me when I say them. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May God bless you and keep you. May we all find moments of blessing each day, holy moments of time. The keva and kavanah of Jewish ritual offers us the fixed words of prayer and the opportunity to infuse our spirit and intention. It is through these rituals, Shabbat, holidays, saying blessings and being a blessing, that we are kept, may God keep you, kept together in community and become closer to God. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka. May God's light shine upon you and be gracious to you. May we reflect the light of justice, goodness, and compassion that is within us out into God's broken world. When God's light shines through us, we give and receive grace. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May God's face be lifted toward yours. May the divine presence be with you and give you peace. Holy One of blessing, you accompany us on our journey and help us elevate our consciousness and our hearts. May we find holiness within and when we look into the face of the other. In our increasingly isolated and digitalized world, may we find ways to draw closer in connection and community. Holy One of blessing, grant us the greatest gift, shalom, wholeness, fulfillment, peace. Amen.
As Rabbi Karen said, we're going to turn to those words of Torah and those words of blessing. And of course, Karen, since more than just being humble like Moses, you're a servant like Moses. It's never been about you. It's been about the community. More than anything, you're a rabbi's rabbi, which means that those of us who are your colleagues feel completely at home and completely, we're not thinking about, oh, I could be up there doing that. We're thinking there's a rabbi leading prayer. There's a rabbi teaching Torah. There's a rabbi creating community. And in that way, we're part of the congregation. So as we're going to offer this song, of course, we're going to open the ark and not ask you to stand there. We're going to ask you to stand with the congregation, really with your family. Because, again, this is about, as you've led us, what we create and make together. Please rise. Although I'm not saying it as weird. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. V'yasem lecha shalom. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. ויעשה לך שלום.
Well, you may be seated. Just thank you to my colleagues here. So I just, Rabbi Batya, we're now 1 year in, right? Rabbi Micah's at 18. And, for the fuller story, definitely talk to Rabbi Zub. So, as always, you can continue to celebrate Shabbat tomorrow morning. 9 a.m., our lay-led minyan, I believe led by Mark Hornstein. And 9:30 a.m., Tot Shabbat. It is one of the best services, so I will actually play a little guitar. And then you can read about the speaker Sunday morning Brotherhood breakfast. There's a poster on the way out. I have been told that there is another announcement, so I will turn the mic over to our incoming president, Elena Sharonow.
I'm playing the role of Amy Cook tonight because she couldn't. I'm playing the role of Amy Cook tonight because she couldn't be here. I've learned something very important. It's way easier to speak after the B'nai Mitzvah kids than it is after Rabbi Karen. I'll stick to Saturday mornings in the future. But we have a couple gifts on behalf of the Temple and the Board of Trustees. The first is a recognition from Women of the Wall. The congregation made a donation to the Women of the Wall in honor of Rabbi Karen, and they were nice. I was nice enough to send a certificate. Amy reached out to them, and then. There's one. Oh, it's wrapped. Okay. Well, maybe we can take it to the plastic. We have a. Similar to what we gave Tim, but horizontal, plaque in honor of your artwork and plaque in honor of your 20th anniversary. And we can unwrap it and look at it at the Oneg. But I want to thank you for everything on behalf of everyone.
Good thing I wore my Women of the Wall talit tonight, too. So. Well, I appreciate these gifts and just appreciate your presence here at Beth David and your support and, as I said, your voices. So we're going to, can continue to talk and reflect at our own egg. Again, thank you to the Weller family for sponsoring. And we're going to move into our concluding prayers for this Shabbat, and just, again, lots of gratitude for celebrating this anniversary with me. Page 282, we'll continue with Aleinu L'Shabeach.
Aleinu L'Shabeach L'Adon HaKol L'Tet Gedula L'Yotzer Reshit שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות ולא שמנו כמשפחת האדמה שלא שם חלקנו כהם וגורל עלינו כחמונה ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה Shema,
remain standing and turn to page 291. There are stars up above so far away we only see their light long, long after the star itself is gone. And so it is with people that we loved. Their memories keep shining ever brightly, though their time with us is done. But the stars that light up the darkest night, these are the lights that guide us. As we live our days, these are the ways we remember. We are especially remembering Bob Holman, father of Wendy Berliner's friend who passed away in recent weeks. And we are remembering the yahrzeit of these loved ones' anniversary of death that occurred this week. Edward Cohen, Nathan Davis, Avraham Deutsch, Ronnie Gilman, Irving Grassfield, Linda Hanau, Lucille Holliner, Theodore Kentrowitz, Anne Lasarso, James Pastor, Edna Pelzer, Richard Preisler, Samuel Schur, Henry Treiber, Renee Zindwer, Rose Zub. If there are others that you are remembering, you may share their names. We join on page 294 for Mourner's Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, ve'alma divra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, ve'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, ba'gala uv'izman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam ulamei almaya, Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei dekudsha brichu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechamata da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya V'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Zichronam livracha, may their memories be a blessing. We're going to turn back now to page 5 for the blessing of Kiddush, which hopefully, Batya, you will do us the honors. And I do just want to also mention next Shabbat, next Friday evening, Cantor Louise Treitman will be leading music and also joining me in offering Cynthia and Harvey Atkins a blessing for their 70th wedding anniversary. And next Shabbat morning as well, we do have 9 adults who will be called to Torah as B'nai Mitzvah. Please join us in celebrating their accomplishments. There is a sign up if you want to stay for lunch, but you can come at least for the service. I said a thank you to Elena, just gratitude also to Tim Holliner, our current Temple president, to members of our executive committee and board, many of who are here this evening. And as I always say, I can't do what I do without you. So just thank you to everyone who volunteers for our community and our lay leaders who partner with me all the time in building our community. So let's join in this blessing of joy and gratitude.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei b'riah hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher ishanu b'mitzvotav ve'atzavanu, v'shabbat kodesho ve'ava uve'atzon hinchilanu, zichron lema'aseh bereishit, ki hu yom techila u'mikra'ei kodesh, zecher l'tziat mitzrayim, ki banu v'chai
L'chaim. All right, and let's join in our blessing. As the Talmud class learned this week, you don't say amen to your own blessings. That's why we add Shabbat Shalom. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lachem min haaretz
Shabbat Shalom.
We're going to end with words of peace. Oseh Shalom. May the one who makes peace above bring peace here amongst all of us. Oseh Shalom. Divrama. Oseh Shalom. Divrama. Ya'aseh Shalom. Ya'aseh Shalom. Ya'aseh Shalom. Aleinu. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. Oseh Shalom. Divrama. Oseh Shalom. Divrama. Ya'aseh Shalom. Ya'aseh Shalom. Ya'aseh Shalom. Aleinu. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace
Bring it down, bring peace, bring it down.
May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace
Bring peace down, bring peace down.
Shabbat Shalom.
Hi, Grandma.
What?